From the muddy trenches of 1917 to the digital battlefields of today, this is the complete visual evolution of every French tank ever made. Starting off with World War I era, 1914 to 1918, Schneider CA1. This was the very first tank designed by the French. It had a boxy body and a short gun that often struggled with rough terrain, Saint-Chamond. This design had a very long nose that made it prone to getting stuck. It carried a powerful 75mm gun, but lacked good mobility. FCM-1A. This was a heavy prototype that paved the way for even larger designs. It was well armed for its time, but never saw real combat. Renault FT. This design changed everything. It was the first tank to feature a fully rotating turret on top, a layout that is still used today. Peugeot tank. This was a rival to the successful FT design. It was a light tank with a small crew that unfortunately never entered mass production. Then, Char 2C. This was an absolute giant. It remains the largest operational tank ever made, looking more like a literal land battleship. Next up, interwar period, 1919 to 1939. Renault NC1, NC2. This was an evolution of the light tank concept with a better suspension. It was widely exported and served in many different countries. Renault 995. This was a fast prototype designed for scouting. It eventually led to the development of several successful cavalry tanks. Up next, Char B1. This served as a solid infantry support tank in the early 30s. It was slow, but had decent armour for that era. AMR 33. This was built for speed. It was a light scout tank, meant to keep up with fast-moving cavalry units across the battlefield. AMC 34. This was designed for combat roles within the cavalry. It had a bit more firepower than the scouting versions, but had a short career. Char B1. This was a heavy hitter, with a 75mm gun in the hull. It was one of the most powerful tanks in the world when it was built. The next one, Renault R35. This became the most common infantry tank of the late 30s. It was small and slow, but had very thick armour for its size. Hotchkiss H35. This was a light tank used by both infantry and cavalry. It was known for its cast armour hull, which was quite advanced for the time. AMR 35. This was a much faster and more reliable scout tank. It was designed to provide reconnaissance for mechanised divisions. Then, AMC 35. This version focused on anti-tank capability for the cavalry. It featured a better gun and a two-man turret for better efficiency. Then, FCM 36. This tank had a very futuristic, sloped look. It was built with welded armour plates, which was quite innovative in 1936. Somua AC3. This was an early experimental design for an armoured combat vehicle. It helped engineers test out new ideas for cavalry tank development. Up next, Somua S35. This is often called the best tank of 1940. It had a great balance of speed, armour, and a powerful 47mm gun. Char D2. This was an improved version of earlier infantry tanks. It had thicker armour and a better turret, but suffered from mechanical issues. Batignolles-Châtillon DP2. This was an experimental light tank project. It tested out a new type of suspension, but never made it to the assembly line. Now this is the Char B1 bis. This upgraded beast was a nightmare for enemy crews in 1940. It was nearly impossible to pierce its armour from the front. AMX 38. This was a prototype for a light tank that focused on improved protection. It used angular, faceted armour plates rather than rounded shapes. Hotchkiss H39. This was an upgraded version of the earlier light tanks. It had a more powerful engine and a longer, more effective gun. Next, Char G1P. This was part of a project to create a modern medium tank. It featured a high-tech design for its time, but the war stopped its progress. Renault R40. This was an update to the infantry tank series with a new suspension. It was meant to handle rough terrain much better than its predecessor, Somua S40. This was intended to be the successor to the famous S35. It featured a simpler hull design and improved production methods. Up next, Char B1. This was the final planned evolution of the heavy tank series. It had even thicker armour and extra room for a fifth crew member. Up next, AMX-40. This experimental tank had a very strange, rounded shape. It looked almost like a duck and was designed to deflect incoming fire with ease. Continuing with late World War II and immediate post-war, 1944 to 1950. ARL-44. This was the first heavy tank built after the liberation. It looked a bit old-fashioned, but carried a very powerful 90mm gun. Next, AMX-M4. This was an early design for a post-war heavy tank. It was meant to compete with the heavy armour developed by the Soviet Union. Up next, AMX-50-100. This featured a massive oscillating turret and an autoloader. It was surprisingly fast for such a large and heavy machine. Next up, Cold War era, 1950 to 1990. AMX-13. This became one of the most successful light tanks ever built. Its oscillating turret and small size made it perfect for export. The next one, Lorraine 40. This was a fast and mobile support tank. It focused on speed and firepower over armour, using a powerful 100mm gun. Somua SM. This was a prototype heavy tank built to compete with the AMX-50. It used a more traditional suspension, but shared similar turret tech. Batignolles-Châtillon, 25th. This agile prototype used an oscillating turret on a very fast chassis. It became a legendary design, despite never entering mass production. AMX-50-120. This was the final evolution of the heavy tank series. It was equipped with a massive 120mm gun to handle modern threats. ELC-AMX. This was a tiny and low-profile tank destroyer. It was so small that the driver had to sit inside the turret itself. ELC-Even-30. This ultralight vehicle was armed with two 30mm autocannons. It was designed to be easily transported by air. ELC-Even-90. This version of the tiny chassis squeezed in a large 90mm gun. It was a true glass cannon that relied on its tiny size to survive. AMX-50 Cerbère. This was the final attempt to make the heavy tank more viable. It had a lower profile to make it a harder target for enemies. AMX-30. This was the main battle tank for the French army for decades. It chose speed and a great gun over heavy armour plating. AMX-32. This was an improved version of the standard main battle tank. It featured better fire control systems and was offered for export. Next, AMX-40. This was a modern main battle tank designed in the 80s. It featured advanced armour and a powerful 120mm smoothbore gun. AMX-30B2. This modernised version featured improved electronics and a better transmission. It served with distinction during the Gulf War. Ending with modern era, 1990 to present. Leclerc. This is one of the most advanced main battle tanks in the world. It uses an autoloader and has incredible acceleration. Then Leclerc XLR. This is the latest upgrade to the modern French main battle tank. It features better protection against mines and urban threats.